wherever they go. This is mine, this is what I want to be, and I'm tired of it being taken away too.
Don't mess with it. Right.
Yeah. So,
Well,
Yeah, we've had a lot of sanitizing
be a Christian.
of it out of the public sphere, I agree.
well, it's just gotten worn out. It's almost reverse discrimination to the point where if you're Muslim or this, it's okay, we can go bow down on the street, do whatever, but I can't have a holy day of prayer, or we can't, you know, it's, you know what I'm saying? You know.
Politically correct or tolerance were the two words that I think missed us up.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere along the line we lost it on that.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to pray in school every morning and read a passage. It didn't make me grow up weird.
Oh, really?
Oh, he didn't?
Somewhat weird.
Put it out there for us. Thank you.
Oh, Roxy, we love her.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've got your head on straight and you know what your sights are, and we need a ton more of you up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were definitely interested in that concept. If you
I
guys
do
need
want
extra,
one of
yeah.
those. I would love to
And
have
Tim, just
that.
pass around. If you don't have one, I can get one from you later, okay?
Okay. And if any of y'all want some, we've got bumper stickers as well. We're actually getting some yard signs coming in the next week. We're going to be putting out some more yard signs here pretty soon.
Cool.
We do what?
There
November
is
2nd.
one. Oh,
No, that's fine. I can get one from you.
Sure.
That's fine. I know how to find it. You know.
that's neat.
It's a good idea, actually.
That
Thank
is
you
a
for being
great
here.
idea.
Thank you for having me.
standing up,
Yeah.
because too long people just let things just slide because of the parties or whatever, and it's my generation and, you know, a few people that are older than one has to fight back for this country because previous generations have let it slide to the point where it's at. And it's sad. This country's in a very, very sad state right now.
It used to be so powerful and
We're
not
a
that
joke.
feared is good, but you know, I mean, you gotta have a certain amount of that. And I just feel like now, you know, we've got a president that went around and said we're arrogant, we're sorry, we're not a Christian nation, and bowed down to Muslim kings, and what were you thinking?
A lot of it is, sorry.
Go ahead.
A lot of it really just goes back to how we've got people up there who are up there to be career politicians instead of going up there for a purpose and then heading home. And
That's
one of the
it.
things I was telling you earlier was that I'm going up there for a maximum of 6 years. And that goes into my platform about term limits. I think we should have a maximum of 6 years for the House of Representatives, which would be 3 terms, and a maximum of 12 years for the Senate, which would be 2 terms. Keeping that imbalance between the House and the Senate, like the Constitution really kind of
Set it up to
shows
do.
with
Yeah.
the jobs that they're responsible for. And that regardless of whether I get term limits to actually go through or not, I'm going to abide by that principle of term limits, because I don't want to end up becoming that career politician that so many others who may have gone up there with good intentions ended up getting corrupted or sold themselves out on certain things over time because it became a career to them rather than, you know, public service.
Exactly.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
y'all.
for coming.
Have a
Thanks.
good day.
Y'all be careful.
Thank you.
Well, you know, it's like Cindy Lauper said, that some money changes everything. And it's
Not
very,
only that,
it's very seductive.
That the president is limited is because of that same exact reason. Why should the House and Senate not be?
Yeah, I mean, if it's good enough for the president, why can't it be good enough for the
Exactly,
legislature?
exactly. And, you know, the thing that, too, you know, they're always screaming how good this Obamacare is gonna be, but yet they're not going on it. They're keeping
Yeah.
on their
That's
AIG
it.
golden plan. So I think my mama and my granny used to say, if it's good enough for the goose, it's good enough for the gander.
That's the one thing that I really.
I believe it was Pelosi said the only way we're going to know what
I
really
love it.
truly is after we pass it in that we can read it and find out what it
None
truly
of them had read it.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Their thing was let's pass it and then we can figure out what it actually
Shot it
is.
through December 24th.
How long did it take
night
Obama to
before
pick a
Christmas.
dog, and how long did it take us to pass through a healthcare bill that changes everything? That tells you right there where priorities are.
And speaking of that, like Lori can speak to how the healthcare already is getting geared up to do their end of it. Paperwork is going to be tremendous, isn't it?
Well, the problem with the medical part, I'm a nurse practitioner, and I have a private practice. And the issue that scares me to death, of course, the little clinics have been squeezed out. You can't survive unless you've got the deep pocket at the hospitals and that kind of thing. But, the scary part to me is that if we're looking at socialized medicine type medical care, it's scary the kind of care you get in that situation.
Yeah.
When your insurance is saying, you know, I hate your leg's broken, but we'll just cast it instead of making sure that everything is appropriately repaired. And then people go through life with one problem after another because they weren't properly cared for.
And what about the other end, where, I'm sorry, what about the other end about if you don't follow through with procedures you should have for preventive?
Well, that is
Or the
basically,
test that should have been run and you didn't run, or something like
For
that.
the
Oh, I
provider or
worry
the
about the
patient?
death panels.
For the provider, who is it that, for the patient, they're gonna get stuck anyway, but for the provider?
well, as far as the patient goes, what they're trying to do is to get patients to do what they need to do for preventative care. So they don't really dock them if they don't, but they reward them if they do. That's kind of, and that these things are being set up. I mean, there's so many things in the healthcare legislation that is planned, but it may not go through in the next 8 to 12 years. Who knows? And so, but part of the problem is they're trying to raise money with the small businesses or with everybody, like with the what is it? How they're, if you buy something more than $600 for
Yeah, you gotta
Oh,
put
yeah.
1099.
Yeah.
and that hasn't gone through and it may not go through. But the 1099, say I buy this beautiful lamp for my wedding ring, a crystal lamp from Tom, and it's over $600. Then at the end of the year, before I do my taxes, I have to 1099 him to make sure that he pays the taxes on that money. And so this means that my accountant has to go through and do all of these, and that money is to raise money for the healthcare reform.
Well, let me just tell you, my sister-in-law is from England. Her mother came over here to have her hysterectomy.